Let's give them something to talk about. See the energy running out. I got a planet to run around. Okay, okay. You ain't do nothing but run your mouth.
Like, I don't try not to use AR for too much. I did get some assistance with that with that graphic.
Not just a pixel move.
Well, some of the yeah. I mean, I do. That's where I tried. What I did is, and then I, like the font. You got to be really specific, and then so the font is actually my work because it comes out of the actual Diablo logo.
I was gonna say it looks like the logo.
It's the same font, and then the graphic. I upload the graphic of Mount Diablo into there, and then it gave that version, which I liked. I just liked that version with the clouds overhead.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. The rest of it, it did the little podcast, little podcast symbol on the bottom. It did that incorporated. So it's right now just using AI for that kind of stuff. If I gave it full license to create this, it would have been 100 different versions before I got to something where I could actually, because it's not quite there yet.
No,
especially with details like words and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then our logos. I have to put our logos in, but I enjoy doing that. You can get lost for hours doing that stuff. But anyway,
it's like a new medium of art.
Yeah, and this is really just an evolution of the podcast. And we took so much time off from doing the PRs all day podcast. We feel like we needed a name change to come back and start.
I was looking at it's been 5 months, I think.
I know.
Since the last actual podcast.
Yeah, and the one thing that I am glad we did that is one, just because our schedules got incredibly busy, especially through the open, and then trying to concoct something to talk about is not the way to do a podcast. And some people are really good at where it's their full-time endeavor, or they got a lot of time on their hands and they can get on and talk. And it's fun to talk, but man, when you got shit to do, especially with the gym and everything, it gets hard. And then we get on and we don't really have something to talk about, and it's rushed. It's
been a fun thing too, like not necessarily like we're hobbyish.
No,
we're sharing and giving back in some capacity.
And so the reason why we're back is because our members, several members asked us, they enjoyed listening to it, and they wanted to hear about Diablo. And one of the things they liked the most, which really was cool with me, is they liked hearing from our members.
Our members, yeah.
And that's really, so if you think about this as a funnel, at the top of the funnel is the Diablo community. That's really first who this is going out to. Then next is the overall affiliate community. Maybe there's something in these podcasts that we can talk. We'll talk about how we do things, the way we do things, and how we got here. Some of it serendipitously, some of it purposefully, and then where we're going and how we plan to get there. We'll talk about those things.
Yeah. And also something just to throw out there, like for anybody listening to this, after it's live, throw some questions in the comments. We can maybe come back and revisit some of that stuff in the future podcast.
Yeah, that'd be great. We're not really great at like putting comments up and reading them.
No, but if it's after the fact, that we can check.
Yeah, I mean, we'll try but I'm not great at that. Other podcasters are good at it. And it's really, it's also, this is helpful for us because, one, I get to showcase our members, and we have some really freaking interesting people in our gym, and most CrossFit gyms do.
Yeah.
People that do hard things like CrossFit tend to lead interesting lives outside of CrossFit. And so we have a number of members. I have some members already lined up for us to get on the podcast. I can't wait to get on and talk to them because those are pretty cool. And then we'll have some of our coaches on as well to talk about that. So that's where we're going with this. Starts with our community, sharing with our community. If other affiliates benefit from it, that's great. Yep. And then if the outside CrossFit world wants to hear it or wants to find little snippets and clips that they can put on Instagram and make fun of us, they can do that too.
Would be the first.
No, would not be the first time. Something will be said that will trigger someone. I'm apparently pretty good at that.
It's inevitable.
Yes, it is. But the first thing I wanted to talk about is that we got asked lots of questions about was the open to the quarterfinals and to the semifinals. We had 267. Yeah, 267. That's right, 267, which is remarkable to me. People in the open, and then we ended up with 57 or something like that.
267. That put us in first in the U.S., right?
Yeah, put us first in the U.S.
That's awesome.
And in the top 10 in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
PR, man.
Well,
What was it the year prior to that? 2025?
Yeah, 2025 was like 185.
Oh, really? I thought we were in the 200s then.
No, oh, wait a minute. Hang on a second. So we
Like
got,
low, I think it was like low 200s.
yeah, like 205, something like that.
Yeah, so it's like
205.
over a 50 person increase. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
awesome.
Fairly substantial increase. And,
Yeah.
and we did it just to talk about that because, you know, we found that, and one of my coaches mentioned it, that we do a weekly or every other week coaches meeting. And this was back in November, December, something like that.
Yeah, last year.
I said, how do we really ramp up participation in the Open? And it was Jackson Miller. He said, look, our members love a competition. He goes, you got to do intramural Open teams. The year before, in 2025, we split the gym in two, did the bros versus the Betties.
Yep.
And that was fun, but it wasn't as team oriented as having actual individual teams with captains, with things
where you're recruiting or not recruit. Well, there was some recruitment, but it was also the draft that they went through.
The draft they go through, and you get really energetic, enthusiastic captains.
Yep.
And it's a lot of work for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just the scoring and everything else. It's a lot of work. And so we kind of, Yvonne and I just kind of, well, it wasn't Yvonne because she'd love to do teams every time. But I just was like, oh, I just don't want to go through that whole team thing again. So we split the gym in two, and I said, oh, we'll do this. It'll be good. And it was good. It was fun. But it wasn't near as good as when we divided the team. And so that's what we did this year. We divided the gym into 4 teams.
Mm-hmm. First time 4. We've had 3 in the past. Yeah.
But we saw the numbers starting to come in. They were big, and we're like, oh crap, we need to do 4 teams.
Yeah.
So we could have, there's over 50 people per team.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even just the size of the teams. It was also, because in past years, we've always done the Friday night lights. And when you have over 250 people doing the Open workout, that's not enough time. So we ended up adding some morning sessions to classes. So we had like a designated morning heat at 5 a.m. for the crew. First gave them a few hours where we had legit judging and all that stuff going on versus just running it as a class. And then also the Sunday fun day. So, I think not only by adding an extra team, but also having more time for people to do it in a legit space. I think that also helped kind of recruit more people into it.
It did. The difference between just for other affiliates and other people out there, the difference between our overall performance in terms of number of attendees and the participation in the Open of 2026 versus 2025, the key variables were, one, we got behind it really early.
Yes. You set those goals early.
Yeah. And that was I should say that.
Yeah.
Well, one,
set those goals
I set
early.
the goals because I looked at the numbers in the past and I said, okay. And here's the one thing the one goal I thought was that I kind of pat myself on the back here about was having 100 in the first day.
Yeah.
I wanted 100 people to register for the Open because I wanted to make a statement to the CrossFit world. I wanted to be number 1 in the world on the first day. That's it's like winning the row in a workout. When you open with the row, I like to win the row.
Yeah.
And let everybody know.
First on the leaderboard. I'm at the top.
First on the leaderboard, right? The first one on the leaderboard. There's a couple of members that love to sign up for the Open first. Yeah. And then they tell everybody in the gym they're the first one to sign up. But there's something cool about that.
Yeah.
And so having 100 on the first day really set the tone. And then I also said we wanted to get to our total goal was 300. We didn't make it to 300, but getting to 200 we got there fairly quickly.
Yeah. I think the big thing too, 2 things to think about. We got in behind it early.
Yes.
And as early as the holiday party.
Yes.
Because then we were able to hand out, like you had the free registration. You put things underneath people's chairs, so it was kind of at random.
Yes.
So it was already kind of in everybody's head, which was awesome.
Yes, so
but also when you to get to that 200, you originally you had that 100 for that first day, then 300, and then you ended up kind of doing like with any other goal. You kind of set those stepping stones. You put the 200 out there by a certain date. and we
Yeah.
hit that.
Yeah, I kept setting. I would put dates where we wanted to get to particular goals and registrations, and then I got our staff and coaches behind it as well.
Yep.
We, one of my coaches, Corey, he came up with a great idea because I would ask the coaches meeting, hey, how do we get more people signed up for the Open? How do we get more people signed up for the Open? And Corey said, well, you got to have a QR code.
Yeah.
You need to have a QR code. And I was like, okay. So I went online and I went to the CrossFit Toolbox, the affiliate toolbox, and I printed some of their posters. And those posters were like, I don't know, it was like $29 a poster to get it printed over at Staples, copy and print. And so I printed like $90 worth of posters, like four or five posters. I put those in the gym. And then I also created a really big QR code to put it right on the board in the middle of the whiteboard that's in our main gym. So everybody looks in it, sees. And then I had our goal. That's right. I had our goal for the number of registrations right there. Like, so when people came in, up above is the TV screen, up above the whiteboard is TV screen where the workout of the day is. Right below it is, here's our goal for the Open, big letters with a QR code.
Not only did you have a QR code on the whiteboard,
you
had a QR code on the back of your shirt.
Yes. I created t-shirts for some of our front desk staff.
Was another good example of like what you could do with a simple press.
Super
press.
easy. I got a heat press and it was so easy to make. It's so cheap. That idea, like people, other affiliate owners messaged me, said that was brilliant.
It was gold.
I forget it wasn't my idea. That was Kim's idea.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Kim's idea.
That's awesome.
She got mad at me because I put it on Instagram. She's like, "That was my idea." Like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Here, Kim, you're getting the credit now.
Yep. And so it was cool because you scan the QR code, you could register for the Open, and then I gave it to the team captains for the team so that they had it as well.
Easier recruiting.
The best was though because I kept asking this one member, was it Shauna? No, it wasn't Shauna Sophie. It was Shauna's friend that trains with Shauna.
Renee.
Renee. Oh yeah. Renee Burke. So Renee said, she goes, hey, I have signed up for the Open. What do I need to do? Get a t-shirt that says stop asking. I've already signed up. So I made it and I laughed. I thought that was really funny. And so I made her a t-shirt. I said, stop asking. I'm registered for the Open.
It's so good.
Oh yeah. So it was but we created a lot of fun around it. And I think that's the difference in it. And coming all the way back to why we did this, and why I felt it was important. The Open to me is a leading indicator for how people are feeling about CrossFit, how excited they are CrossFit, how affiliates are doing, and then it also is kind of brings us all along. A massive Open benefits everybody. People are paying attention, and people are paying attention to the methodology. People are paying attention to the sport, and people are paying attention to their affiliate, what's happening in their affiliate, the athletes in their affiliate. They're paying attention to other affiliates. So if we have a massive Open, typically in the past, you look at years when CrossFit does really well, the Open was huge.
Yeah, it's a good indicator.
And so I felt like, if we get, and it was for us, like the massive Open this year was so cool for our business.
Yeah.
It was great in a lot of ways. We got a lot of new members. We got, our community was buying in. It was excitement all the way around. And I think, and I'm hopeful, and I'm going to make a big push, being on the affiliate council, for us to start this again early next year.
This was the earliest we were able to sign up.
That's right.
Right. So we had like a lot of runway to kind of build those numbers up.
And I think that's a huge thing. What really pissed me off though was, I wanted to be number one on the leaderboard in that freaking CrossFit Black in Portugal. We got 100.
And when you look at the flags on their leaderboard, I mean, there's people from all over the world.
Yes.
Which is cool.
And so the home 100, I thought I'll be number one. No, we were number two.
No.
He ended up with I think he was close to 200 on his first day. It was just, it was some big old number.
Yeah, it was massive.
And then at the end, and every time I was getting close to gold, they'd be 100 or more of it. And then at the end, he was like, he ended up with over 500 people.
Yeah.
CrossFit Black did.
It's wild.
They got to host and Dave, what was really cool is Dave brought him an open announcement.
Workout, yeah.
Which is great. They should get it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I also wanted to do it because it's this year's our 20th anniversary of
this is a big
affiliation for CrossFit. Yeah. So I really wanted to make a statement, and our community stepped up and did it.
Yeah.
So again, I would say to affiliate owners, support the Open. and make it a big deal and use it as your opportunity for 3 weeks to connect with your community. It's a lot of work. There's no question it was a lot of work. But it's a great way to connect with your community, and at an important time of the year, because that's when people are coming in. They want to start their fitness for the year. You got people making goals for the year. Just tie it all together. Jamie writes programming for Diablo, and at the he's driving toward that open. He knows, because he knows that everybody in our the largest percentage of our members are going to participate in the open. He wants to get them ready for it. So it's kind of use that as
it's the year end.
It's the year end, right? So the whole year plans towards is written towards the open, which helps with performance. So it is important, and we're gonna make a big push again this year. The Coffee Pods and Wads guys, Pedro, reached out and asked if we would be willing to do a U.S. versus UK.
Oh, that'd be good
participation.
That'd be a tough competition.
It'd be
when you look at the numbers.
Dude.
What are the other parameters?
Well, so he wants to limit it to like a handful of affiliates, in particular 179, Southampton, Glasgow.
Yeah.
And I think those are the 3. I think I got them right.
Just a straight across numbers game.
Yeah, and to get 3 affiliates from the US, and then just do a straight across affiliate participation number.
I was just thinking, it'd be kind of interesting to see if there's any other ways, other parameters you could put into it to make it how we do our intramural, right? It's not always just based off of the performances, but also just judging, all these different other parameters that you could
maybe
pull data points.
As long as it's easy to get that data. As long as it's easy to get the data. I really do like that CrossFit has an affiliate participation leaderboard. We were clicking on that thing. I was clicking on that thing every day. Yeah. And that's what I want to do is we want to get affiliate owners to go in and be clicking on that, checking where they are, develop their own competitions with their peers. Yeah. To try and drive performance in. It will pay off. It'll yield dividends in terms of customers, your member satisfaction, memberships, the whole 9 yards.
So what you're saying is our goal next year is to beat the
UK. Yeah,
perfect. I love it.
Yeah, dude. Except
start that runway now.
You look at the numbers.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I got to get a lot more members.
Or we can reach out to other affiliates and hey, let's team up.
Yeah, do it under Diablo.
Yeah, we'll hook you up. We'll do a big party.
Yeah, so that's cool. So then we went to we moved on to quarterfinals.
Yeah,
and
which was a lot of work.
Yeah, quarterfinals,
big weekend.
Quarterfinals, a lot of work. We had over 50 people that were signed up and wanted to do it and participate in quarterfinals, which is great. And it was 4 workouts, 4 days,
starting Thursday after 12.
Starting Thursday, and then CrossFit made the announcement a little bit early. We there were a couple of members that said, "Hey, now because of my work schedule, I want to do it early," and we didn't allow them. And as it turns out, it wasn't really necessary to do that. You could come in and still practice. Now that you know,
you could still come in and practice, but it was just, let's just hold the idea of the sport is to do it in a certain window.
That's right. And it's up to the affiliate owners to. So we did. We held the standard. A couple members were tweaked by it because of their work schedules, but you know what? It worked out great. And so how we did it. Oh, by the way, going back to the open, we do the open on Friday Night Lights. But because of our morning people, you 5, 6, and 7 people, they don't necessarily want to come in and work out in the evening.
Not only that, but I don't know if we would have been able to support it with.
Well, that's right. With the number of people we had, right?
We wouldn't have logistically, we wouldn't have been able to. We would have been here until midnight.
Yeah. So what we did is we created a block, basically a Friday Night Lights, but a Friday morning lights.
It was like a dark 30 morning. Yeah, dark 30 lights.
So from 5 a.m. to 7:30. Yeah. We just made it that one class, and then you would come in and put your name on a heat, just like you did with Friday night. Yeah. And that was great. Yeah. And then the catch-all was Sunday. So we did the Friday Night Lights, and the Friday Night Lights basically went from 3:30, 4 o'clock until 7:30. We were done and out of the gym by 8:30.
The programming this year was really really helpful for the affiliates, I would
Yes.
imagine. I mean, for us especially,
It was.
it was great.
The programming allowed us to do at most 20-minute heats. And so we got through everybody. And then on Sunday we had a catch-all where it was we called it the Sunday Fun Day. And those were actually fun and really relaxing. It was a couple of hours and people would come in and do the workout on that day. And we'd get done and it was great. And then we got through that. That's how we got through everybody. We had those designated times. Some people do it as a class workout. That's fine if you can get judges to do it.
Yeah.
One of the things that we did during the intramural open, and if you're scoring intramural opens, is you give points for judging.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass to kind of track it. But it really creates, there's no shortage of
There's
judges.
never a shortage of judges.
Yeah.
You know, whether we're on push press and saying who's available to judge, or Facebook, who's available to judge at this time, there's like 7 people putting their hands up.
The teams were venomous about.
Well, that's one of the things I want to
judging.
change for next year. Are you on my team? I'm not judging. It's like, okay, next year you can't judge your team.
And if someone like, hey, I'm gonna go do the workout, I'm judging.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, they wouldn't want any other team because we gave points for judging.
Yeah.
We gave points for other stuff too, spirit, you know, judging.
What game on the
We gave them if you PR'd and the PR was chosen by Jamie, he would say, look, if you know it's pull-ups, if you first pull up, max weight on a lift, maybe those kinds of things.
There was a lot of PRs.
Yeah, it was permissible PRs. Otherwise, people would be like, well, that was my PR. The last time I did that workout. Okay, no, that doesn't count. But then we go to quarterfinals, and the quarterfinals we kind of handled the same way. And we basically put out structured times when people could come to do the workouts, because otherwise it would have been chaotic. If we tried to do an open gym, it just becomes chaos, and then you just see shit that you don't want to see as an owner.
Like from a quality control perspective,
right? Because we want to make sure all the lines are taped correctly, people are executing the workout right, and if they're recording, that they get it recorded correctly.
Yeah.
And so we gave structured times on Thursday afternoon/evening, and then Friday afternoon/evening. We did gym.
We did 2 times. Well, we did Thursday afternoon, evening, and then I think Friday
whenever there was
morning.
So from 1 to 3 o'clock, we did that because that there's no one in the gym, so we did it during
open gym time.
And then we gave them time in the evening to do it. And then we did Saturday and Sunday sessions
11 to 2 or something like
11
that.
to 2. And not everyone did the same workouts. Like they would do different workouts, but it worked out really well.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good too, because I mean, like you said, we did very similar to how we set up from a heats. Like you had to sign up for your heats, you had to put your name on the board. And then also which workout are you doing? So that way, when it came down to the logistics of making sure that the space was available, that was huge. Like being able to know what people were going to do.
So what Jamie talked about, we have a rolling whiteboard, and we use the rolling whiteboard for it. And you basically, you know, as the owner, you come in and say, look, heats are going to start at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
And then we're going to run heats every half an hour.
Yep.
You know, 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and you put the number of spaces, and then people would come in and just try and fill up those spaces.
Yeah.
They had to put their name, what workout, and then who is their judge. So you get that kind of structure right away. And our members have gotten familiar with that. They know that when they come to an open workout, or they come to a semifinals or quarterfinals workout, they got to come in, they got to put there's going to be a board somewhere in here with heat times. Having that structure makes it easier for a head judge too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Especially when it comes down to, you know, people doing different workouts.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go? What's the space? What's the tape lines for this one?
Right. So if the time cap was a 20-minute time cap on a workout, we would go heats every 30 minutes.
25 to 30. Yeah. Depending on like the workout.
Because you got to transition people in and out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for most of the open workouts and quarterfinal workouts, it was 20-minute heats.
Yeah.
So we were doing 3 heats of like 12 to 15 people, depending upon the number of a piece of equipment.
Yeah.
3 heats an hour.
Yeah.
And it worked great.
Yeah, we were able to bang that out. And it was one of those things where as soon as one heat was over, the next heat just rolled right in, set up, warmed up, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Yeah, that was great. And then other people that were there, spectators, we'd put them on, like if changing the weights was permissible by someone else, they would change the weights.
Yeah, standby weight changers.
Yeah, standby weight changers, those kinds of things. So
Yeah.
it's
A lot of support, a lot of
Yeah.
help. I mean, the Open was awesome this year.
yeah, it really becomes, and that
And the
that's,
quarterfinals.
that's why it's important too. I think in terms of your community and building community, because it becomes a community effort.
Yeah.
Not just the cheering, but the judging, but then
Mhm.
also the sport setting up and
Yeah.
taking down. And then when you get the teams going, they came in. By the way, if you
Go to Diablo's
Diablo, yeah.
Instagram.
go to Diablo's Instagram, you'll see it. But also, like, if you're hungry, come to our Open Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
There is no shortage of food. These teams
Food,
compete.
snacks. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my God, there was so much
That
food.
could probably be one of the scoring opportunities in itself. Is the
It's
amount of
table of food. So each team does its own table. Right?
table where there's glasses, swag.
Oh my gosh, there's so much food. It was so great.
Yeah.
Which team was that? Oh, the Cosmic Outlaws did the taco night.
They had like a taco bar.
Yeah, taco bar. It was
Didn't
epic.
expect that to come up too.
No, it was so great. Anyway, so let's talk about semifinals.
Semifinals, yeah.
Semifinals. We're gonna do it the same thing we did with quarterfinals. We have, I think, about 9 athletes that are participating, and we're gonna give them structured times when they can do their workouts. In the middle of the day, because there's no one here in the gym, open gym, or in the evenings. We'll have we'll cancel the last class, and they can use that time if they want. They'll be able to choose which workout they want to do,
depending on what the workouts are and how the flow is. Because in the past, you had to have certain workouts done by certain times.
Oh, that's right.
Because now we're also
right.
going to be messing around with the password because videos are required. So we're going to have to record. It is going to be a little bit more involved, but at the same time, I think with the protocols that we set in place from open to quarterfinals, I think it's going to be pretty smooth.
I understand why people wanted video for the quarterfinals. I will tell you that would have been extremely difficult for us, and
it
for
would have
Diablo,
sucked.
and it would have sucked, and also a number of athletes just wouldn't have participated.
Yeah,
because of the hassle factor, not because they didn't want to be seen on video. We are freaking strict for Jamie's there the whole time. He's the head judge, and we're hard asses about our judging. But setting up videos and showing the equipment, showing the distance, showing the tape lines, and then doing the introductions, and then trying to start when you've got
a timer.
Yeah,
everybody's using.
When you got 10 or 12 people in a heat and trying to do it all of that simultaneous.
Yep.
Is an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
And then you have to start. We have a wall timer because we want to, kind of keep. There's some people that just want to use wall timer, and then you have people that have the WOD proof, and so you got to time the countdown.
You got to do the intro, record the weight.
Yeah, it's like 3, 2, 1.
The
measurements. Go for the intro.
Yeah,
and then 5
minutes later,
the
recording is still going.
Intros are just a shit show.
Uploading a 25-minute video for a 10-minute workout.
And then you have to get someone standing at the camera, everybody's camera, because
here's the 10-second countdown.
10-second countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we do a 3, 2, 1 go to the 10-second countdown.
Yeah.
It's wild.
You could see the anxiety in the people that are behind the cameras.
Dude,
I don't want to fuck this up, because then it's everybody's got to redo this.
And then everybody. Oh man,
that's how it's been in the past when you had to have a video for quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes total sense if you got 1 or 2 athletes and you want everybody to have video, but when you have 50 athletes doing it, it's great, but it's a lot.
But we will do it for semifinals.
Absolutely.
And we've got less athletes, so it's a little bit more manageable, but it's still a bit of a shit show.
Yeah.
So we'll have times in the afternoon, we'll have times in the evening, and then we'll do a time on Saturday and a time on Sunday, and hopefully have everybody done. We do allow makeups, if someone really screwed something up, wants to come in on Monday.
Yeah. And I mean, I think like with the fact that we have to have 2 judges there, right? 2 level 1 judges. We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. So that's how we're doing semifinals. And again, all along the way, I encourage my athletes to sign up. I want everybody to get the experience. I don't want people doing the semifinals and not signing up.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do it, sign up. I don't. We've said that about the Open too. I don't want people coming in doing the Open, you're getting the benefit of the entire community, judges, the whole 9 yards. If we don't get mock, we don't do mock intramural open. We don't do mock quarterfinals and no mock semifinals.
Do it or don't.
Do it or don't. And put yourself out there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing about CrossFit is you're putting yourself out there, and
yeah,
you're not signing up for it, but you're going to do it.
That's right. So that's that's kind of how we do it. And again, the difference between, I think, an affiliate that really drives participation in the open, quarterfinals, and semifinals is up to the owner.
Yeah.
It's the owner that the owner really gets behind it and then rallies the coaches, their coaching staff to get behind it, you can produce some pretty impressive numbers.
Yeah.
And then if you get a few gung-ho members to help you, holy crap, it just goes nuts.
And even from a coaching perspective, if you're, looking to expand your business with private training and things like that.
Oh yeah.
The open, like I said, I programmed the year around the open. Right, we're basically periodizing to peak for CrossFit, constant varied function, execute high intensity on the open. And some people that may need extra time working on a specific skill, here's a perfect opportunity to get them in a one-on-one environment or a small group setting to work on improving those skills.
Yeah,
and then they get to test themselves because that's what it is. It's a test.
Yep. So, and then they look forward to it the next year.
That's the big thing, right? Once they've got a big one and they feel the energy from the open, I don't know anybody that had a bad experience.
No, well, that's a good point, right? Everybody looks back on the open.
So I think next year getting to that 300 might be a lot more feasible.
Yeah, it's a lot more feasible. And then we're going to get people that, like you said, they're going to want private coaching sessions ahead of time to make sure they can get the bar muscle up or the ring muscle up or the pull up.
So close, I could have gotten it.
Could have, and they know they start prepping for the open in December.
But starting it early,
starting early definitely helps. So that's kind of where we are and what we're doing with that and how we do that. I did want to talk about programming for the rest of the month. And then I also do want to touch on the new CEO thing. There's enough people talking about that.
There's a lot of news out there these days.
There's a lot of news out there, and that's fine. I only want to talk about it as it pertains to our community. And you can get all kinds of insight from all the other talking heads that are out there about what it means for CrossFit. But regarding our programming, we have Murph this month.
Yep.
At the end of May. At the end of May. I noticed we have been doing, work relative to push-ups, pull-ups, and even a little bit of running. And what are your thoughts on preparation for the rest of this month and what people should be and what could they do in addition to the programming that we're going to do? And you might talk about the programming that you've got planned for us for this month. But
let's do recap from this last month, right? Yeah. So through April, coming out of the open, we went into a foundational training phase. So it's essentially 3 months of building a foundation. And some of those things on the foundation, we had our squats, back squats, work a little bit of volume, but at the same time, we were supersetting it with floor press. The floor press is one of those things where it's an isolated pattern where we can work on setting the shoulders in a good position and building some capacity in your pressing. Now, taking that and translating that into something like a push-up, right? We've got a buttload of push-ups when we look at Murph. And that's typically one of the more sticky points throughout that workout. So when we look at this next month, we're going to see a lot more volume building into the push-ups, but we used this last month as a foundational training portion to kind of prepare. So that way, as we start to build the volume, we understand what it's going to be like when we set our shoulders, right? So that's one of the big things, just looking at Murph specifically. What we're going to be doing into this next month is our skill is going to be built around Murph prep, which is going to have a variation of different rep ranges. So depending on where you're at in your fitness, we don't want you to bite off more than you can chew too early, because the volume will compound over the month by the time we get to the Memorial Day. So
the floor press was, I've enjoyed the floor press. I used to
not like it.
Yeah, it's like, come on, can we just get on a bench and go full range of motion? But I've been doing all of the entire cycle of floor press, and I actually really like it now.
Shoulders feel good, huh?
Yeah, shoulders. Yeah, it's definitely feels good, especially with dumbbell, right? Dumbbell floor
Mhm.
press. It's just you get nice positioning, but it is very push-upy.
Yeah.
In other words, it's more like a push-up,
Yeah.
and it's
It will translate well.
yeah, it translates well. And I can go a heavier load. I don't worry as much about my shoulder. But the hand positioning on it's pretty cool. It's a cool lift. I like it. And you have to be thoughtful about the descent.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. We want to be thoughtful about how we do our push-ups,
Yeah.
right? We don't want to see a worm. We don't want to see the shoulders rolling and translating way over the front of the shoulders.
Yeah.
So the big thing too is to kind of remember as we get into the Murph prep for the month of May is maintain mechanics, right? Mechanics consistently, then we'll find our intensity. So as we get into it, depending on where you are, you can adjust the rep range. Maybe we work from an incline and we work on progressing to the floor. Or if you're on the other end of the spectrum, maybe we need to work on some vests. If you have a vest and you plan on doing the workout as prescribed, wearing a 20 or 14 pound vest, on those skill days, definitely bring the vest in. I wouldn't necessarily say wear the vest all the time, but there's a time to train under that load. And, not just on those skill days, we could still sprinkle in some of this work throughout the week. So it's not just once a week. We're going to start talking about how we can integrate certain movement patterns so that way we don't overuse them when we look at the rest of the week of training.
If you're deciding to add volume to our programming for Murph, that's fine. Just be thoughtful about it.
Yeah. I would recommend looking because we always have the workouts up
for the week. Yeah,
for the week. So take a look at the week and make sure you're not going to do 100 push-ups before we do something like a 100 burpees. Right? It's just too similar of a pattern back to back. Maybe you do the pull-ups on that day if we're doing a bunch of burpees on that day. So there's a way you can kind of find some balance between the two.
Jamie has given me permission to do a sprint challenge this month.
Permission. with disclosure behind it.
So I'm going to post. You'll see starting tomorrow, May 1st, a sprint challenge,
which is just we were talking about this earlier. Very valuable health wise.
Yes,
and I think it will translate over to the Murph when we go to do our runs. But we both want to emphasize warm up.
Yes, warm up.
Don't just jump out of bed and go for a sprint.
But it is a very functional movement.
Absolutely, and
it can contribute directly to longevity. There's a lot of things that go on with a sprint. One is the intensity. Two is the neurological adaptation as you learn to move your feet fast, your arms fast, and move your body fast. And you'll find, I know if you're not doing any sprints that it will be exhausting, but I do know from my years of training for marathons that sprint training can translate really well.
Yeah.
You're not going to go out and sprint a mile for Murph.
No.
But if you get better at sprinting, you will be a more efficient runner.
Yeah.
When you do run that mile. The idea came from two things. One, walking my dogs about a week ago, my neighbor, I was out at the schoolyard with my neighbor. My dogs were running around. She goes, hey, look at that guy. Look at that guy. And it was an old man. And this guy was, and when I say old man, she's probably my age, but he looked like he was in his 70s.
Okay.
And he was walking slowly with this little dog, like a cockapoo type dog, a small dog. And he goes, watch what he does. And I'm walking, I'm waiting for something like, whatever event he was going to do. And she goes, that's his driveway. And his driveway went away from the schoolyard, went uphill. And it was probably, 25 to 50 meters uphill. It's a pretty steep driveway. And she goes, he does this every day. And he throws the leash down on the dog, and the dog starts to head up the hill.
Knows the drill.
Yeah. And he started sprinting. This old man starts sprinting, and he was sprinting like he was pumping his arms and moving. I was like, holy shit.
Awesome.
It looked like a different dude. And the dog just was on fire. The dog knew the drill, man. and the dog beat him to the top. But it was, he goes, he does this every day. I'm thinking, man, that is so good for that guy's health.
Yeah.
Going out for the walk is great, right?
Yeah.
You know, walking, you know,
The walk was his warm up.
yeah, the walking thing's good mentally, but it's also good for your metabolism, everything else, burning up glucose and starting getting your metabolism. But doing that sprint is probably the one thing that's going to add to that guy's longevity. And he moved really well. I was like, holy crap, I did not see that coming. And then I thought to myself, you know, and this is my whole life, I look at him like, oh, I should probably be doing more sprinting because I don't do any anymore. And then Chris Pagano,
Yeah.
our Chris Pagano, he sprints all the time. He goes outside, you know, and after his workouts, he'll go out and then he'll run sprints up the street, right down the middle of the court. And Chris, for those of you who don't know, he suffers from GLUT1 syndrome. Things don't fire the way they do for you and me. Like it's you know, it's a really sprinting and moving fast and physical activity takes a lot of thought process for him. Like everything has to be thought through. But he's fast as shit when he sprints, and it's a little bit awkward because of his movement patterns. You look and literally it looks dangerous, but it's really amazing, and he's really freaking fast.
He's a pro at it.
And Bill Leeper comes in and he goes, dude, have you seen him sprint? And I said, yeah, I have. He goes, that's just like, I'm so inspired by it. And I said, yeah, every time I see him, dude, I think the same thing. And I actually have told him in workout, Chris, slow down, dude. You make me nervous, man.
You want the wheels to fall off.
He runs so fast, dude. And he is a reckless son of a bitch. You know him.
Yeah.
And Bill goes,
watch out for speed wobbles.
And this is lliterally like about 3 or 4 days after I saw that old guy sprinting up his driveway. And I was like, it was kind of a sign. I'm like, man, I said, Chris, I told Bill, I go, Bill, that's the best thing you can do for his longevity, but also probably for his fitness too, because the proprioception and
proprioception, it's your recruiting.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Like when you think about a functional movement,
injuries,
right?
Huh? That's right.
What's that?
That's how they get the injuries.
Yeah, it's so demanding.
Yes.
And if you're not warmed up going into like a true sprint, like you got to build into it and you know where your capacity is. But at the same time, like you're recruiting a lot of that fast twitch muscle fibers, which is essentially what we need when we're doing like heavy strength stuff.
Absolutely.
So sprints are essentially a strength pattern, right? And you know, the fact that you see your neighbor running up the hill, you know, I think especially for our members here, we are blessed with the amount of hills that we have versus some parts of the country where it's flat. You know, as we start to expand into this sprint challenge this month, maybe get outside. Go find a hill. If you need some directions, come talk to me. I got plenty of hills for you to run up.
So it'll start really conservative. One thing I will say is that don't sprint from a dead stop.
No.
Jog into the start of the sprint and then go. And I would say, start easy. One, if you're not warmed up, then don't go to 100%.
Nope.
You want to be in the 75 to 80% range. If you're warmed up and you've been doing some stretches and you've done some
dynamic stuff,
then yeah, fine.
Dynamic foot drills.
Right.
It doesn't have to be super complex. It's just a matter of going through the motions and kind of priming your body for that maximum effort. It's like if you're going to go into, like when I say maximum effort, like sprinting is a hard effort. If you're going to go underneath a heavy barbell for a 1 rep max, think of all the prep and priming that you do leading into that 1 rep max.
Good point. Yep.
So if you're going to run a 100-yard dash at a 90% effort, think about what it's going to be like when you get underneath a 90% effort of a back squat. Kind of have to have the same mentality as far as how you're preparing and getting ready to jump into it.
As you're doing this, think about things like foot placement. Think about
knee drive, pumping those elbows back,
pumping the elbows. And you're not running heel.
Yeah,
toe.
You're staying
up on the balls of your feet. I really want people to think about staying on the balls of the feet, lifting the knees.
Really emphasize leaning into it, right? And that's why like running up a hill is so great for.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Sprinting it's naturally you naturally have to fall into the hill to propel and drive yourself upwards.
The things that you'll want to warm up ahead of time: calves and hamstrings.
Lots of hamstrings. Some skips. Work on some skips and kind of get yourself ready for lateral work. There's a lot of stuff out there, and I mean a lot of the stuff that we do in class.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. It'll start really gradual.
Yeah. So what's your plan on
I think
the progression?
We'll start with 50s the first week.
Okay.
And then it'll just be 150, 250s, 350, 450 with each day and then we'll
just 150.
Yeah.
Should we do maybe 2 or 3 50s in progressively increasing intensity?
No. Well, yeah, I mean, if they want for
as
warm up,
as warming.
yeah,
into
sure, it's a
it.
warm up,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just it's
Declare this is my distance.
Yes.
I'm gonna go.
yeah, and I want people to look at their times,
Yeah.
if they can, if we record the times, but we won't be sorting by time. So in other words, you'll be
Okay.
able to put the time into.
Okay,
see
so
it.
yeah, for the leaderboard as far
Yeah,
as how it's
we're
gonna
not. I'm not in. I don't care who the fastest is. I can look in this gym. I can tell you who the fastest person is, and it won't be me. But yeah, that's what I want you to do is have a kind of a benchmark.
Yeah.
For each distance, 50, 100, and we'll probably get up to 200s. I don't think we'll get to 400s. I don't think it's
That's
not
not so
re-
much-
that's not
That's
it's
not
not
so much of a
sprint.
sprint.
No. But we will get up to 200s. And
Yeah.
and then you'll be able to, you'll have a time for each one of those.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
It's just a thought. What if we pyramided it? We start at the 50 and we build up and then we come back down.
I like that. I
And we
like
can see
that.
how fast we're actually holding
Right.
at the very end.
Yeah. So we'll get this up and we'll put it up. If you want to participate every day, participate every day. If you want to participate a couple days a week, you'll still feel the benefit.
Yeah.
And I think when you get to Murph, you'll see the difference. And I think when you get to the end and you record your first ton and your fast one, you'll be like, holy crap. So please do not injure yourself doing this. Make sure you're getting warmed up. Be thoughtful.
And if you don't know, come ask a coach.
Yeah. Come ask a coach.
Yeah.
Last thing. So we talked about the Murph, we talked about sprint, and then
Open season.
open season. Oh, the last thing. Oh, hey, we have a new CEO.
Oh yeah, minor detail.
Yeah. Bruce, here's what I'll tell you. He's been to Diablo before.
Yep.
In 2017, he came he was the chief operating officer then, and he came out and visited and talked with us. And with the then
Did a
CEO
class.
Jeff Kane, did a class. It was great.
See if I can find a picture of it.
Yeah, that was 2017, and so it was fun. And he's a great guy. He has more of a CrossFit pedigree than I think almost anybody in CrossFit right now. He was literally training with Greg before CrossFit.
Yeah.
And he's got a athletic background. He was a champion sailor, Olympic level sailor. The guy's an athlete. He's a passionate CrossFitter. He founded a CrossFit Aptos with a partner. He told some of that story. If you listen to the CrossFit podcast today, he was on there with
Did that come out today?
Chuck Carswell. Yeah.
Oh,
it
awesome.
was a great conversation. And they just really literally talked about his passion for CrossFit and what his history is and what his experience is. He's been through a lot of shit with his affiliate, all the stuff that affiliate owners go through. Just he talked about opening it, tearing
Got
out
that firsthand knowledge.
having to do the tenant improvements and all that stuff. And yeah, and how scary it was when they did it and opened up and didn't have any members. And, so all the stuff, like he fits the bill. And then he knows CrossFit on the inside. He knows guy's chief operating officer for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And so he knows how things run. He knows what the stuff costs. He knows how much revenue gets made. He knows how many L1s we're doing. He knows how many affiliates we have. He knows all of that stuff. So he's the right guy. To be honest with you, he's the right guy. But the news that was lost on everyone, well, I shouldn't say that. The news that was lost on a lot of people is that it was declared that CrossFit is not for sale. And that to me is really cool. And I'm glad that
take another swing.
I'm glad that Berkshire prepared that press release. So they're the ones that okayed it.
Yeah.
And I really like that they said that. Because it's, that's not something you can like 6 months from now. Well, we changed our minds.
Yeah.
But I don't think Bruce would take the job unless he knew he had a couple of year runway. I don't think any competent CEO, and this guy's a C-level employee. I don't think anybody would take that job unless they had at least 2 years to kind of prove their worth and really get things going. So I'm excited for the next couple of years. I'm excited that we won't be distracted by who's going to buy CrossFit. Yeah. And I've met I had an opportunity to meet some of the Berkshire people a couple of years ago. And they were really nice people. They don't fit the bill of a typical private equity investor. These guys, when people say private equity, it is private equity. It's private money. It's their money that they have in a fund that goes out and buys businesses, turns the business around and creates more value and resells it. But in this case, they've decided that, and they could look, the most funds like that are willing to sell stuff at a loss too, if they've got another gain they can offset for tax purposes. But they decided not to do that, and that's really cool. I think that they wanted a price, they didn't get that price, so you know what, we're going to hang on to it, and then we're going to hire someone really fucking good
Yeah.
to run it and build it to where it should be, and that benefits affiliate owners, that benefits CrossFit, our members, that benefits the sport, it benefits the training department.
It's a good timing too.
Yeah.
I feel like with the momentum we had going into the Open, Forging Elite coming back, like it's I don't know, it just feels a little bit like old days.
It does feel a little bit like old days,
a little nostalgic.
Yeah, and there's hopefully some new things that you can implement with new technology and addressing the new generation of CrossFitters. We see them coming in here. We talked about this in our coaches meeting yesterday. The new generation of people coming into our gym are far less experienced from a fitness perspective. And some of them have never worked out before in their whole lives. They're in their 30s and 40s and 50s and have never worked out. And that's different from the days when I got started, when it was all the early adopters who saw CrossFit as this is the new thing, expert level of fitness that that I'm craving, right? And it's different. And so, but he's the right guy he's been there. He's been a coach. He's opened an affiliate. He's run the whole thing. And then the one thing I also like that he did is he sent an email to all the red shirts. Yeah. And emphasized how important what education is. And that is one thing that CrossFit really has as a real strength in the entire world of fitness, is that we hold a very high standard for movement and fitness that it keeps our clients safe, but it makes them fit beyond any expectation that they have. Yeah. So it's cool. I don't know. He checks all the boxes, and I've met him personally before. I don't know him super well, but I know him well enough to know he was a great guy, and he sounds like he's a good pick for the job. Yeah, he sounds like a great pick for the job. Yeah. So I'm excited, and it's off the table. So all good. That's all we have to say.
It's all positive right now.
Yeah. Anything else?
Nope. That's it. That's it for today.
Right on, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this is next week. We're gonna have we'll have a guest on. We're gonna try and have a guest on every week, so you don't have to listen to me and Jamie just bantering about shit. So we'll have a cool guest on next week and make it more interesting for you. Yep. Right on. Thanks, Jamie.
Until next time.
Cheers.